Just waiting for everyone else to get loaded in.
Yeah. Drop it
Whoa.
in. Drop it in. Keith,
Mine
drop it in.
crashed as soon as Josh joined.
Oh, Sam's orange.
Mhm.
Yo.
Uh,
Whoa.
Here we
Must
have
have just watched Marty Supreme.
your cast from Hexproof from Ward. We have Nathan, Keith, Josh, and Agent Orange.
Yeah, there's something wrong with it. I'm getting it fixed right now.
You think?
And
Uh, Orange,
the
you glad
camera
we didn't
wasn't
say Sam Case?
doesn't bother me at all.
Dumps.
It's just my camera wasn't plugged in. Oh,
Hey,
Oh, there he is. Now you just gotta aim it down. Aim it down.
there we
Okay.
go. Yep,
Oh, heck yeah.
there we go.
Well,
Gang's all together.
we're all here. What do you say we
Yippee.
start this episode?
Let's do it. I believe I'm the captain of the ship this week, right?
I think so. I believe
Okay.
so.
So I figured no way to bring in the new year better than bringing it in the biggest way possible by our favorite flashy plays. These do not necessarily have to be optimal flashy plays, just big things that we like to do that make us really happy when it happen on the board. Just fun, exciting plays that we can pull off in the game of Commander, and just things that are memorable for the table.
Yeah. Perfect. I love it.
Okay. You want me to start off with an example so to get things going and then we can just kind of go in rotation?
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So one of my favorite ways to win, especially if it gets down to like a 1v1,
Hmm.
is active treason, which is there's a multiple spells that do this these days, but at sorcery speed, essentially, you gain control of target creature, you untap it, and it gains haste till end of turn. And then in addition to that, Fling, an instant for one in a red, where you sacrifice target creature and deal damage equal to its power to any target. That is one of my favorite plays ever, especially if an opponent has a particularly beefy creature. There's nothing better than beating them in the face with their own creature and then throwing them at their face to finish it off. So it's just like one of those adding injury to injury plays that just really stick around.
I love it.
Okay. Who else wants to share with the class?
I can go.
Okay, send it.
So I have a Massacre Girl deck. I think it's the Massacre Girl Known Killer. But the main goal of this deck is to cheat out Tree of Perdition. And Tree of Perdition is a defender plant for 3 and a black, and it has tap, exchange target opponent's life total with Tree of Perdition's toughness. And I also had like a bunch of dismember effects, and dismember has target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. So just like obviously this is suboptimal, but Tree Perdition is 0-13. You want to like lower that as much as possible and then swap its life total and toughness with anyone, and then you can just sneak in with any sort of little guy.
That's rad.
So
That's
it's
fun.
little, yeah,
I actually
not
run
too
one in my
convoluted.
I run one in my Finax deck because it's fun to swap it with someone with like a life gain deck at 100 lives, and you'll just tap the Tree of Perdition and then mill
Oof,
them for 100.
oof. Yeah, that hurts.
Okay.
Doesn't get much play anymore.
It's a fun card though. Definitely a splashy one that when it hits the table, you know some chicanery is going to go down.
Okay, I have a fun one.
Okay, hit us.
Uh, this one would hit you. Uh, this comes from my Nekusar deck. So my Nekusar deck is my favorite. So if you don't know, Nekusar is two, a blue, a black, and a red. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Nekusar the Mind Razor deals one damage to that player. So what I like to do, this is a four card combo. So it's a wombo combo that doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's fun. So for one and a black, you play Pheresis. So enchanted creature has infect. It deals damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters and to players in the form of poison counters. So you add that, you put that onto Nekusar. Then you play Windfall for two and a blue. Each player discards their hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. So you hope to shout that you've got, seven cards in your hand. So you play that, everybody discards and draws that many. So then all your opponents are taking that seven infect. And then you play a fun card called Reverberate for two red. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So you're not going to choose new targets. You're just going to copy that windfall. So it'll go, if you have six cards or seven cards, and you don't even need that many with infect, but you'll sit there and give everybody 14 infect, and then the game's over, and you just win. It's a fun play. So it
Hmm.
doesn't happen very often, but it's not super expensive. So if you can somehow wait until everybody's fully tapped out and you have the right stuff sitting there, you can have a lot of fun and splash and make everybody infected and die.
I mean, combining some famously hated uh like or salty, I shouldn't say hated, but salty components into one package, uh wheel effects and infect in the same package to kill the whole table at the same time is a pretty impactful play to say the least.
Yeah, and I kind of
Mhm.
I talked about it on the last Tread Talks that I did, where that draw punish type stuff mixed with that kind of that poison or however you want to talk about it. But like those are two of my favorite things in Magic. So when when you helped me figure that out and get this into my deck, which is my favorite deck and favorite commander to play, it was just like it was a no-brainer. Put my two favorite things together and make it fun. So, like I said, doesn't happen very often, but it is a salty thing to play.
Okay, Sam, you got something for us?
In my Nin the Pain Artist, which is just red and a blue commander that has ability X blue red tap it, and Nin does X damage to target creature, and then that player draws. That controller draws that many cards. Um, we don't want to focus on that. What we like to do is we like to play Jace the Mind Sculptor. It's a two and two blue. And what you want to do is you just want to do the top the number two. Sorry, plus two. Look at the top card of the target player's library. You may put that card on the bottom of that player's library. So you look at it. Hopefully, it is not a land card, anything but a land card. Once you see it and you look at it, you'll grin. Hopefully, nobody will counter it, and then you play Tunnel Vision, naming the card that you just looked at,
Mhm.
and there goes the library.
Brutal.
Boom, baby.
Brutal. Okay, then uh my next one I have is based around Shark Typhoon,
Mm.
which is a really fun enchantment for five and a blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you create an XX blue shark with flying equal to that spell's CMC. What I like to do with this is run it in vehicle decks so that whenever I'm casting vehicles, I'm getting sharks to crew the vehicles, which I just love the idea of little like shark taxi drivers mowing people over. And yeah, it's fun every time I can get it to happen, and feel like it's silly and impactful. So there's that.
It's kind of cool for vehicles and any artifact decks. Um, I have one. It's not crazy, but it's in my Malcolm Keen-Eye Navigator and Ketis Emberclaw Familiar like pirate deck. So I guess first of all, you need Malcolm Keen-Eye Navigator out, and it has whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponent, you create a treasure token for each opponent dealt damage. And then you'll want to have Lightning Rig Crew for 2 in a red, and it has tap. It deals 1 damage to each opponent, and it is notably a pirate. And then I just have Deadeye Navigator to soul bond with it, and Deadeye Navigator, when it comes into play, it soul bonds. Says you may pair this creature with another unpaired creature. When either enters the battlefield, they remain paired for as long as you control both of them. And when they're soul bound, you have 1 in a blue, exile this creature, then return to the battlefield under your control, and just ping like any or bounce any pirate essentially, and you can just keep getting value. You could do it to like uh Lannery Storm and get an additional treasure or something when it enters the battlefield. But yeah, so you tap Lightning Rig Crew, you ping 3 players, get 3 treasures, and then you can kind of infinite that right there. Or yeah, I guess
Yeah,
could say you could do like other value stuff, but I mean, if that just wins the game, then freaking why not?
yeah, no, they'll absolutely get it done there. You just loop that and kill them all. Also, Kenai Navigator actually feeds into another flashy play that I wanted to mention that I learned
Ooh,
works out. So I'm going to tag along since you've
cool.
opened that window for me. Kenai Navigator and Master of Waves. Master of Waves is a merfolk for, I believe, 3 and a blue. And then when he enters, you get a elemental creature token, which is a 1/0, but he gives uh, elemental creatures +1/+1 so that they don't die. Uh, I didn't realize this was how it works with like the stack till recently. If you exile him and with Keen-Eye Navigator and bring him back before the cleanup, before uh, the state base of them of the elementals being at 0 toughness and dying, he actually comes back before state-based effects resolve. So you actually just keep making more elementals, and it's cumulative. I didn't know that was how it worked. I thought they would die the second he bounced, but no, the state-based effects don't resolve till the end. So you get to just keep making more and more elementals with that.
It's elementary, my dear Watson.
Okay, so I hijacked
That's
that
cool.
one. I just wanted to mention that because I would have intuitively been playing it wrong till I looked up how that resolved, and it was way stronger than I could ever
Oh,
imagine.
yeah, both of these can't see them, but both of them have Navigator. I think he's talking about Deadeye Navigator. That's the Soul Bond one, right?
Did I say Kenai?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I meant to
That's
say Deadeye
Malcolm.
Navigator. Deadeye
Yep,
Navigator is the one that helps bounce. Thanks for the clarity there.
yep.
Okay, Navigator, barely know her. Nathan, what's your next one?
Okay. So I have one that usually people pair Navigator with one of the pieces of this. So this is another one that is, a handful of pieces, um, but it leads to an infinite combo that is kind of dirty, and we've only pulled it off once, and it was Josh. It was in your sunroom one time, so it was fun. So this is in my Abuelo Ancestral Echo deck. So Abuelo is one, a white and a blue, flying ward 2. So you can pay one, a white and a blue, exile another target creature or artifact you control, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Um, so you can kind of just keep doing things with uh, creatures and bouncing things. But one of the other pieces is Peregrine Drake. So flying when Peregrine Drake enters the battlefield untapped up to 5 lands. So you just keep untapping. Genku, Future Shaper for 2, a white and a blue. Ginku is a legendary creature merfolk wizard. Whenever another non-token permanent you control leaves the battlefield, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Create a creature token with those characteristics. So you can make a 2/2 white fox with vigilance, a 1/2 blue moonfolk with flying, a 1/1 black rat with lifelink, and then you can pay three, a white and a blue, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. And then the other piece that you have is Charming Prince. So for one and a white, you get Charming Prince, and when Charming Prince enters the battlefield, you can either you choose one, scry 2, gain 3 life, or exile another target creature you own, return to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. So you just kind of start phasing stuff in and out and in and out and kind of build up your army that way. And then once you have enough lands, you can kind of just pay a whole bunch of times to do a whole bunch of things. And um, it's kind of like Sir Conrad, where you can just kind of kill people by paying Sir Conrad's cost over and over and over again. That's in his text box, and make him pay that death toll tax. But yeah, it was a fun one, and it's another one that like if you pull it off, it's awesome, and if you don't, the deck is still a lot of fun. But it was a fun thing to pull off one time, and it probably won't ever happen again because once like an infinite combo is found out and you play against people who know that it's in there, they're pretty good at making sure that, oh shoot, here it comes again, and it doesn't happen again. So it was fun that it happened one time.
Looks.
Well, I feel like with something like Abuelo and the Peregrine Drake, I feel like combos with like a lot of things. So then like different components, as long as you have a avenue that nets you value after that. If you have
Hmm.
um, like a creature that's there's several creatures that give you life on ETB. You can get up to infinite life. Well, not infinite. You have to choose a number eventually, but
Yeah,
uh, there's so many directions that you can take something once you got that engine going.
right. Yeah.
Is there another blue bounce card other than Deadeye Navigator that allows for like repeatable bounces?
Uh, so
Other than like Conjurer's Closet or whatever?
mm,
Hmm. I
oh,
know
I
you've
mean,
got them in that Abuelo deck, I'm sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
can't think of them off the top of my head, but yeah, there's other ones.
yep. And Sam, what's the next one that you got cooked up?
It can be either a 2 card combo or it could be a 4 card combo, depending on if you want to either guarantee it or you just want to take a chance. We'll go with the 2 card to start off with. So you want to have ty typically you'd want to have Braid of Fire on the field. Braid of Fire is a one and a red enchantment. At upkeep, you add red mana to your mana pool. Obviously, once you get that mana and then you change phases, you'll lose it, but that's not where we won't lose it. You'd want to cast Brand of Ill Omen, which is the 3 and a red, an enchant creature with an upkeep of 1 red. Cumulative, so 1, then 2, and then 3. But that creature's controller cannot cast summon spells. So you have
Mhm.
Braid of Fire out first, and you're always at those upkeeps. You choose to pay the Braid of Fire to get that red mana, and then the other one will trigger, and then you pay to keep that, and then that creature controller can no longer cast creature spells. Now,
Yikes.
if you want to make it guaranteed to where they can't lose the creature, you let's say you have an indestructible creature, anything, equip Assault Suit to it, which Assault Suit is 4 mana artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has haste, cannot attack you or the planeswalkers you control, and it can't be sacrificed. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control of the equipped creature. So basically,
Oh, cool.
you can give it to somebody for free, and there's nothing they can do. They can't sacrifice creatures, so they'll have to destroy it. Oh, it's got to, either have to do a board wipe or do something, but it makes somebody have to do something. You
Sneak.
make a turning point happen.
Brutal.
Yeah, that's
Well, it says it's only for creatures, but still, that's pretty rough.
yeah, that's kind of whenever you are like, this is what you do now. You kill things for me. So that's your job now. It's like, what's my job, creator? It's like you make toast and that's it. It's like, no.
I'm gluten intolerant. Well, now you're a gluten for punishment.
Oh, there we go.
Got
That's
him.
gonna be the tag on a food token eventually,
Yeah.
or one of the food creatures. Sh
Sir
also,
Ginger.
sh Yes, Sir Ginger. Shout out to our Santa episode where we had all those food creatures in there. Um, So then, my next pick that is just kind of flashy and fun thing to pull off if you can is the I was trying to make it Mecha Titan. It's Mech Titan Core. It's a vehicle for two, and then you can pay five exile Mech Titan Core and four other artifact creatures and or vehicles you control, and then you create the Mecha Titan legendary 10/10 construct artifact creature with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste, and that's all the colors. And whenever that token leaves the battlefield, return all exiled uh, cards with Mech Titan, except Mech Titan Core, to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Just building a freaking Megazord in a game of Commander is very satisfying. So, uh, just anytime I've pulled that off, it's just been a lot of fun. It doesn't have indestructible, so it can be dismantled very easily, but it's a big dumb thing to do, and it's fun if you can,
Yeah. You'll get your stuff back if it is destroyed too.
except for
Uh,
the core. You lose the core.
oof.
Yeah.
You always got to
It's
work on the core.
it's not a great win condition, but it's fun. You built a freaking Megazord, and no one can take that away from you until they take it away from you. Yeah.
All right. I've got another one in my Xyrus the Writhing Storm deck.
Mm,
So Xyrus has whenever an opponent draws a card except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, create a 1/1 green snake creature token. So just a few turns with that bad boy out, you're gonna have like, I don't know,
couple
a
snakes.
few to a dozen snakes or something. So I have a whole bunch of like shapeshifter copy cards. And for example, I have Spark Double, and Spark Double lets you copy anything, and it makes it non-legendary. So after that, you can copy Spark Double. Or I also have Progenitor Mimic, which does the same thing, except it has at the beginning of your upkeep, if this creature that's copying something isn't a token, create a token that's a copy of this. So that can steal either something big and scary or some sort of value piece, maybe get like a tireless provisioner or something. But also, the cool card that mainly goes with all these is Echoing Equation. It's three, two blue. It's a double-sided card from Strixhaven Sorcery. Choose target creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of it until end of turn, except those creatures aren't legendary if the chosen creature is legendary. So you can go dummy with like a value card, or this could be a win con if you steal like a 9/9 or something insane like that. And there was also a very cool card spoiled for Lorwyn Eclipse today, and it's mirror form. And this would go along with this perfectly because it's four double blue instant. Each non-land permanent you control becomes a copy of target non-aura permanent, and that's not even until end of turn.
Man, that'd be
You
dirty.
just, yeah, turn a whole bunch of 1/1 snakes into like, I don't know, you steal someone's Eldrazi, one of the non-legendary ones. Then you have like 12 8/8s or something stupid.
With
Pretty
Annihilator.
cool.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of super powered cards coming out in Lorwyn. It's gonna be
yeah.
a dirty set.
Yeah,
Is
I do.
it suboptimal? Could I have put in my own value pieces? Sure. But I like stealing other people's stuff, and mimics and shapeshifters are the easy way to do it. Okay.
I just wanted to shout out that two-sided Strixhaven card because a lot of times people will look over cards like that because the front side is just like some dingus
Oh,
who
Trash.
for
they
sure.
don't want to play, but the backside's so strong, but like people will skip over it because they can't play one side of it in their deck, but they'll miss out on this really, really powerful effect because it does more, it sees less play, which is counterintuitive, but you see it all the time with cards.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're only like let me look this up real quick.
You gotta love a strong backside.
Hello, HR.
This there's
I
only
am
like three or
HR.
four cards that allow you to like mass copy all your creatures like this. So whenever one drops, they're pretty strong.
Yeah. Well, and
Anyways, I love them.
Lorwyn's all about making cards that, they have the what are those creatures called that like just basically just mimic cards. So it's I feel like you're gonna be able to grab a couple of those from this upcoming set and put them in that deck if you want, Keith, because there's gonna be good ones. I can
Yes,
feel it in
sir.
my loins.
Just mean shapeshifters or something else?
Yeah, yeah, shapeshifters and clones and all that fun stuff.
Their shapeshifters are really funny because they actually stick out like a sore thumb. They're like oozes, but
Yeah,
like, oh, he looks just like John, but he's green and see-through.
yeah.
I love the one that's like in the flock of ostriches, like they
Yeah,
notice
that's
nothing.
that
uh,
one's cool.
I have one that's just a silly combo, and it's one that I've talked about, a handful of times. In my mouthwash deck of Yargle and Multani. So Yargle and Multani is just an 18/6 that you have to pay three, two black and a green for. Um, and inside this deck I've got ways to like pump it up so it's not just an 18/6. It can be, however big I want it to be. But the card that I love to play with that card and combo with is Traverse the Outlands. So if I can get it to happen quickly, Traverse the Outlands is four and a green. Search your library for up to X basic land cards where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Put those cards on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. So like there's been times that I run 38 lands in that deck. It's 15 forests and 15 swamps, and there's been like three or four times where I've gotten all of my basic lands out that weren't on the battlefield before that happened. So like I'm sitting there with, you know, over 30 lands on the field after that, and it's just like, okay, you're like, yeah, you killed Yargle and Multani, but like now I can bring it out all the time and not have to worry about like I'll just basically set those to the side and have all of the mana that I ever need. Or, there's other ways that I can win in that deck too, but that's just my funny thing that I like to do.
Not to mention if you have any landfall triggers, that's
Hmm.
like
Ooh,
you might even be
big
winning
time.
the game from there, depending on the setup you have.
Yeah. And I have one of my all-time favorite cards in Magic, just from the art and from what the card does, is No Mercy. And so like I do that in retaliation, Yargle and Multani gets murdered, but then the creature that you use to murder Yargle and Multani or whatever you did to murder Yargle and Multani, you get punished for it. So that's it's fun. Or I can always throw out a tragic slip and, have fun that
Yeah,
way.
you don't get mad, you
But
get even.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Okay, Sam, what other devious plans do you have cooked up?
One that I have cooked up, I haven't done yet personally, but during trial runs and stuff like that, it's been working. You have Jaws, Relentless Predator. Big hyping card because it keeps rising in prices. It's a 3/2 red shark but whenever it does combat damage to a player, you create that many blood tokens. Blood tokens aren't that, fun half the time, but we're gonna make it interesting. And then also it says whenever you sacrifice a non-creature artifact is either sacrificed or destroyed, it does one for everybody, but we're not gonna look at that. What we want is first thing you need is Hammer of Nazan. The 4 mana artifact, legendary artifact equipment. It's whenever Hammer of Nazan or another equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach that equipment to target creature you control. And it gives that crypt creature +2 and indestructible. All in all, by itself, amazing, right? But what we like to do, and this is going to be very thematic, is we need the enchantment aura Arterial Alchemy. When Arterial Alchemy enters the battlefield, you create a blood token for each opponent you have. We don't care about that. But blood tokens you control are equipment in addition to their other types and have equipped creature gets +2/+0 and equip 2. So you hit somebody with Jaws, it has Hammer on that field. Let's say you hit somebody for 6. You create 6 blood tokens. They enter as equipment. Hammer does on states. Attach those blood tokens to something. You attach it to him. So you're equipping more and more blood to it, and it's getting more and more powerful. To me, it's very thematic.
I just like Jaws holding a hammer. Just sees a giant hammer in his flipper, and he's like, "I love it. Give me a whole bunch of blood."
Wait,
Dang,
but
that
I picture like him holding it in his mouth, like,
Nope, he's got to hold it in his little fin.
okay, or he has it
Well, the
ducked
mouth
into his
makes
dorsal
sense, or
fin.
he just puts it in his hole.
yeah, I was trying
Wait,
to
wait, wait, wait,
find
wait,
the
wait, Nathan.
Hmm,
Go, no,
pause.
we're not gonna skip over that. Where did he put it?
He puts it in his blowhole.
A shark puts it in his blowhole.
Yeah,
He
you
has
didn't know?
gills.
He got it. He got a blowhole from when he was an animatronic at Universal Studios.
Exploded.
It's part of his like it's part of his history, It's a thing,
His lore.
it's real. If
His
you
lore.
watch a Jaws 2 back in action, it's in the director's
Back in action.
commentary.
Okay, so
Talks about
Jaws was actually a dolphin the whole time.
Yeah. 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 Have you seen that movie? And sorry to get off topic, but have you seen that weird shark movie where they accidentally uh, they colored it and all of the blood is now brown, so it looks like in all of the big like shark kill scenes that there's just like poop coming out of people,
I
like they're
mean,
just
if
like
there's no, I mean,
diarrheaing in the water.
if I'm attacked by a shark, I might diarrhea a little in the water, so it seems like a valid response.
Okay, you move on. I'll see if I can find it. I'll throw it in the group chat, and then like on here, I'll throw like a little. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about if you haven't seen it. But go ahead.
Okay, Keith.
Yeah, I was trying to do the same thing with like treasures or other artifacts to turn them into equipment, but that Jaws plus Hammer of Nazan and just blood tokens works way better than what I was trying to do. That's pretty nice. It feeds itself.
I mean, there's also like you could do that with clues too. There's like the armed with knowledge or something like that where clues become weapons as well. So there's I think you might have to go Jess Guide to get that to land, but still that's pretty sick.
You could do there is a red enchantment that states all non-creature artifacts are equipment and their equip cost is their mana value. So they get plus X plus 0 where X is mana value, so do something like that.
I mean, and there it never hurts to have redundancy in a commander deck if you want to have Shark using blood to kill people even faster. That is pretty rad. That's big and splashy and just the type of assignment that I sent you guys out to find. So appreciate the contribution there, Sam.
Hmm. Big and
Okay.
bloody.
Uh, do you guys need another second to look into that stuff, or can I kind of jump to one of my next ones?
Oh, jump the ship. You got it.
Okay. So, I'm the next one is kind of, I mean, like the chat's gonna be like, "Wow, you broke intruder alarm," but I just love intruder alarm because it it just can
Oh
make
yeah.
combos out of nowhere, like the Shorakai Genesis engine, which is 2 and Azorius, and you can pay 1 and tap it to draw 2 cards, then discard a card and create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token. And then Intruder Alarm is when creatures don't untap during their controller's untap step, and then whenever a creature you control comes into play, untap all creatures. As long as you have a mana dork on field that can tap for at least 1 colorless, you just draw almost your entire deck. You make however many pilots were in your deck, and now you have uh, just a crap ton of pilots. So yeah, it's just I mean like, but you can do that with like there's a Merfolk enchantment that reacts similarly. It just you see Intruder Alarm hit the field, just know that someone's going to be making like all the tokens in some way or another. There's probably hundreds of ways to break it and make it all the tokens ever with it. So if you just see that and you have enchantment removal, remove it before you drown in pilots or merfolk or whatever they have planned for you.
I was just looking at Intruder Alarm today, and you can get one for $1. And then a couple
Ooh.
other variations up to $3. So,
You can get
Yeah.
it for free if you can run fast enough.
Uh,
Good old five-finger discount.
yeah. No, but I was shocked by how much it dropped too. I picked one out of a bulk bin recently, and I was
ooh.
in my head, it's just always going to be a $15 card. But I mean, this goes infinite with a ham sandwich card is two $1 to $3, like Keith said. So I mean, if you just pick it up, do silly stuff with it, have fun.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I found out it wasn't a shark, it was a killer whale. But anyway, I sent it in the group chat and so
Just as deadly.
check that out. Um,
Ah,
Well,
I was gonna be silly and be like, I have another combo. Um, so you take coat of arms. It's an artifact for 5. Each creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield that shares at least one creature type with it. And then you make a deck that's all the same creature type. So then all of the creatures get +1/+1 and they all get pumped up. And what's a better combo than that, really? I mean, we're thinking about it. When you're thinking about it, you do that
Yeah.
kind of thing, and then you throw up a heraldic banner and do the same thing. This is my rats deck. So that's where my rats get all big and chunky. But what I didn't think of in that deck is how to get my rats flying. So that deck doesn't win very often because big chunky rats uh can't jump up and eat flyers. So um
Is
yeah.
Marinara in that deck?
Yeah.
Well, they'll have fear then. And
Yes. Yeah, that's how
so
they get through. If
yeah.
I can get Maronar out, they I have ways of giving fear to my rats. Um but if flyers get to the rats first, then
What if you just make Marinara the commander? Then you always have access to the fear.
oh, that's
whoa.
true. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
There's
Hmm.
a cool banner spoiled
Would they?
spoiled today.
But Maronar would have to be in on the playing field, though, wouldn't it? Right?
Yeah, but I mean, like you have access to it, and
Right. That's true.
yeah, you always have access to that evasion. Um, so
That's a
yeah,
good idea.
yeah, there you go.
Switch it. The more you
But
know.
yeah, the more the more you know, evasion. Put it in your decks today. Is blocking annoying? Don't deal with it. Get around it.
Yeah.
So
See.
there's a cards like Glaring Spotlight that can slot into any deck and make all your creatures unblockable for a turn. Send it.
That's true. Yeah.
Speaking of big splashy things out of nowhere, making all your stuff unblockable out of nowhere. Just Glaring Spotlight. It's when it's on the field, all your opponent's stuff can be targeted as though it didn't have hexproof, and then you can pop it, and all your stuff gains hexproof and unblockable, so you can sneak in a ton of damage out of nowhere. This episode is brought to you by Glaring Spotlight.
Mm.
Sorry, we jumped around a bit. Who else has another combo, or like not doesn't have to be a combo, another splashy thing they like to do lined
I've
up?
got two, but I'm gonna try to space them out.
Okay, I got another one left too. So whose turn is it?
I say just somebody just take
Okay,
over. Go for
here's
Okay, well,
Sam. Yep,
that's fine.
Sam, you take the reins.
Okay, we've got a janky combo coming up.
it.
And it
Love
all
Jank.
starts with Mishra Artificer Prodigy. It is a 1, a blue, a black, and a red, or 4. Whenever you play an artifact spell, you may search your graveyard, hand, and/or library for a card with the same name of that spell and put it into play. Then we're going to need the enchantment Encroaching Mycosynth. That states non-land permanents you control are artifacts in addition to the other types, and the same is true for permanent spells you control and non-land permanent cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. And two ways you can do this with this. Put like 40 Shadowborn Apostles in your deck. You cast one, you put them all on the field.
Mm.
They're artifacts. Same could be true with Relentless Rats. Put all your Relentless Rats in all at once.
And your
Or
7
you can
dwarves.
be evil and you can put maybe 50 Persistent Partitioners in your deck. Put them all in at once. And all
With
you gotta
that,
do is tap 4 and mill 12 cards.
yep, you mill everyone to death.
Dirty.
I like it. That's uh in a similar vein, there's the uh let me pull up a different flashy play that wasn't uh in my list, but it is fun and Sam made me think of it. Uh so that is the World Tree, and that is a land that enters tapped and can tap for a forest, but then as long as you control six or more land you control tap for any color, and then you pay double Wooburg, and you sacrifice a World Tree, insert your library for any number of God cards and put them on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. What you do is you just run a Maskwood Nexus, so all creatures in your deck, hand, and everywhere
Our
are all
gods.
creature types. So now they're all gods too. And you do that, and you get every creature from your deck onto the battlefield for a double Wooburg.
Yeah. Discount double check. That's like putting what is it? Uh I'll think about it. I'll come back. Come back. Hold on. Somebody else go.
I've got another one.
Yeah, yeah, send it.
Uh, let's say we are still running with the Mishra deck because obviously
Yes.
his ability you're only going to be able to do a couple times because not many cards can have X amount of so many actually the same card.
Mhm.
But what if I could tell you that you could get rid of every creature, almost every creature out of somebody's deck
Ooh.
with two simple cards? Well, we'll say three. Let's say you have a simple 1/1 creature on your side. It could be anything. It's just a simple creature, but it cannot be black. And you equip Spy Kit to it. Spy Kit states that equipped creature has all names of all creatures. And you now gift that creature to whoever you want. However, you could do that to however you want to do it. Generous gift, not generous gift, but you could literally transfer control or exchange control, however you want to do it. When that creature is on your opponent's field, you cast Eradicate on that creature. And you exile target non-black creature, then you search that player's hand, graveyard, and library of all creatures of the same name, non-legendary. So because it could be a token, but it's got all names of all creatures, and then all non-legendary creatures in his graveyard, library, on.
That's pretty cool. Never
That's
seen that one.
brutal.
Um
Uh,
I remembered what I was looking for. So you have Dark Depths out. So Dark Depths, Legendary Snowland. Dark Depths enters with 10 ice counters on it. You can pay 3, remove an ice counter from Dark Depths. When there's no more ice counters, you get a 20/20 Merit Lage. So big old creature. So what you got to play is Thespian Stage. So that's a land. You can tap it to add a colorless, but you can pay 2, tap it. Thespian Stage becomes a copy of target land, except it has this ability. So when you do that, you copy it and make it become Dark Depths, and it immediately becomes Merit Lage, the 20/20. Well, which is cool because then you have a big 20/20 creature and like people are like, oh no. But if you have Mael's Aria for a red, a green, and a white, um, it's an enchantment that says at the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. If you control a creature with power 5 or greater, then you gain 10 life if you control a creature with power 10 or greater. Then you win the game if you control a creature with 20 or power 20 or greater. So if you get that Merit Lage and you have that Aria out there, then you win the game. So it's a
I would
fun
like to add something to
fun one.
that.
Yeah,
If I don't know if you know it, because that card, even though it produces a black creature, it can be put in any deck. We all know that, right?
yeah.
Okay. You play Solemnity with
Hmm.
simple one white mana. It's just a white mana enchantment that permanents, well, most permanents except for planeswalkers can't get counters. You have that on the field. You play Dark Depths. Oh, hey, counters can be put on it, and it instantly becomes a 20/20.
Nice.
It's just that easy. I know like Merit Lage is a fun condition for modern and has been for a minute. So seeing that a 2020 indestructible pop up out of nowhere in Commander is pretty terrifying. Also, I mean if it gets through and you give it double strike or whatever, it's also just game over from there too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a fun one.
Um
Big butts.
Big butts. So then splashy things to do. Gonna I've been in my logistical nightmare era of when I'm building decks, and one of my favorite cards to facilitate logistical nightmares is Taiga Master Opportunist.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And that is he has flurry, so the second spell that you cast, you copy it and then exile that spell with 4 time counters on it. And if it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. So using that to index with like flashback, and then so instead of exiling the flashback spell, it goes on layaway for 4 turns, and then you have ways in the deck to have multiple upkeeps or this, that, or the other. And it just gets around e conditions where you would have to exile certain spells otherwise. Really strong with like extra turn and stuff like that, and it's can be a head scratcher to get things to resolve and stuff like that, but it is a ton of fun. So don't get rid of
Nice.
your exile spells that you usually have to exile for some reason. Put them on layaway for 4 turns.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think anyone else have we went through a ton of big splashy spells, and we've been talking about big splashy spells for about 50 minutes now. So um, anyone got anything else they want to share? Or are we at a good spot right now?
No, I think we're at a good spot. I'm excited that we finally got some more Lorwyn Eclipse cards coming out.
Yeah.
Finally got some hype for the set that's actually the next set coming out, and we're not talking more about Marvel, since the Marvel set's not the next set coming out. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was walking on the treadmill and watching Prof talk about the 5 worst things in Magic from 2025, and one of the worst things was the fact that we keep previewing sets and stomping over sets that are actually the next set coming out, and it's a bummer that it keeps happening because I know Wizards paid a whole bunch of money. Hold on, Keith, I see you. I know Wizards paid a whole bunch of money to be able to do these kind of things, and they've got to get their money back and stuff like that. But you know, the people that want to play this game and want to go back to planes that they actually care about and are Magic planes kind of keep getting stomped for cash grabs. Go ahead, Keith.
They probably heard from whatever Marvel rep from Spider-Man that, since that was such a big flop, that they need to advertise early and more often for the next Marvel sets coming up.
But
So,
they did that before with Spider-Man, and they did it with Avatar. They like I don't know. It's like
yeah,
when
well,
Disney bought Marvel, or when Disney bought Star Wars, and then they immediately started like trying to cash it in because they spent $1 billion on trying to get it and stuff. And so Magic's doing the same exact thing, and it's fine. It makes sense, but it just sucks for people that want to actually play the game. And
yeah. This
Hey,
year they have one more standard set, so they're going to be overlapping left and right, I would imagine.
yeah, but I do want to say, ending on a positive note, we can absolutely celebrate what has been revealed on Lorwyn in our next episode if you guys are up for it. And then I'm going to be doing the pre-release. I know some of you were up in the air for it, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty fun draft environment. I'd love to explore that with you guys next episode if that's cool with you.
yeah, let's talk
I think,
drafting and other stuff. Yeah.
And then
Yeah, sure.
anybody that has been paying attention, they've also partially spoiled Reality Fracture.
Ooh, I didn't see
And
that.
hmm,
they've teased a mono white Liliana.
Ooh, so I think we can
That's a lore one thing.
Yep. Well, that's in the story. They're thinking that that's what's going to be in Reality Fracture.
Okay.
At least that's how I took it. Could be wrong. That's how I took it.
okay, uh we can dive into the dark depths of that one later. But and then hindsight will
Strix
be a
Haven.
2020 legendary horror. So with
I'm
that,
indestructible.
indestructible. With that, does this episode resolve?
It resolves.
Yes, sir.
Okay, later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Hexproof from Ward. If you like what you heard, you can continue to listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube. You can also give us a follow on Instagram and Blue Sky. We'll see you next week.